Now, jazz improvisation, I'm reading a book now where it's kind of funny because the guy, Derek Bailey, a great guitar player, actually free jazz, free music, avant-garde player. It's a book called Improvisation. And he kind of says, yeah, a lot of people describe it as instant composition. And like he's kind of sneering at that. And then I'm going, oh, crap, that's what's in my handbook. Instantaneous composition. But that's a good way of describing it. There's improvisation in many, many different types of music. Flamenco music, early Baroque music, all of the classical composers improvised. In fact, they would find it very unusual if they were around today to see that people are playing their music note for note. It's like, well, I never did that. You know, I never played a sonata or, you know, I just played my themes and improvised off them and spun them off. We can go back to the camera, classroom camera. So I'll demonstrate improvisation for you. I've already put into your head, for better or worse, sorry about that, Mary Had a Little Lamb. So it's probably still rattling around in there. And if I start improvising without stating the melody, you should hear still a remnant of it. There's sort of a ghost, you know, figment of that particular tune. I go up higher. The reason is every once in a while you might be listening to it and then you go, well, what's he doing now? Oh, okay, there it is. I hit parts of the melody so it would intersect if you were singing it in your head and going da 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 da, even though I'm going da 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 dee da 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 da. Now Louis plays that way a lot. Louis Armstrong. He'll give you that. He's very melodic. He's a thematic player. So I kind of gave you little bits and pieces of it. So as you're hearing it, you can hear the player. It's sort of like your theme and variations. That's all it really is. It's an idea and then a spinning off of those ideas. Now there's some styles of jazz that we'll talk about. The styles of jazz that use more improvisation, like bebop would be a good example, are usually less audience friendly. They're less popular because most people can't figure out what's going on because they're not giving you a theme. They're starting right into the improvisation. Now I'll do that with a tune that all of you should know. You should all know this song unless you had sort of, you know, a deprived childhood of some sort. This would be a tune you would all know and people know throughout the world. But I'm not going to start by playing the melody like I did with Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm going to start by improvising kind of abstractly on it. And I want you to raise your hands. I'll look for you also in Burley and Haley. Once you think, we'll see who has the fastest ears. What tune you think I'm playing? That's one time through the tune. Anybody yet? Yeah, okay, good. You shouldn't really have it. I tried to be pretty cagey about this. Anybody yet? Still? No guesses on that tune? What? Somebody have a guess? I'll get closer.
Happy birthday.
Ah, happy birthday. It's happy birthday. I'm already playing it with a jazz interpretation because happy birthday is usually in 3. Usually sung very poorly, right? When you go da 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 2 da da 1 2 3, it's like a waltz usually. The reason you won't hear it usually sung in Chili's, and an interesting side fact, we'll talk about this later, is copyright. There's a couple, I think they're still around. There's 2 very old, they'll be in their 90s now, sisters who own the copyright to this song. So you can't sing technically Happy Birthday in a place of business. Technically, you're not even supposed to sing it in your house without paying the licensing rights, I think. But that's why you hear these kind of dopey Happy Birthday songs at Mexican restaurants and sometimes at Chili's or at Applebee's or something like that, and they all clap and they come out and sing to you, right? And they don't go, happy birthday to you, because ASCAP and BMI, the people that license this music, will go, ah, you need to pay your licensing fee to play that tune in there. So that comes into play during the bebop era. And so I'll bring that up again, how melodies, tunes like Happy Birthday can be copyrighted. Chord progressions cannot. So the bebop musicians, they just cared about improvising, so they would just play over a chord change, no melody, or they create a new melody that was very complex and hard to follow, that was as hard to follow as the improvisation. But There's some types of music that are very improvisation based, like I just did with Happy Birthday. I played all the improvisation first, and it took me 3 passes through it before our music major here heard it a little bit and said, hey, that sounds like Happy Birthday. I played little bits and pieces of the melody, but I never played it really outright, stated it for you until the end. Now that you've heard it, that gives me the freedom to kind of, and I have to be aware of this when I'm playing in certain audiences. Sometimes I will, it's not really like dumbing down, but it's just kind of being, I guess, courteous to the audience, like, I'm going to kind of show you here's what the melody is and then try to bring you along to that melody. So if I started, so that's pretty much the statement of the theme. And that's what we're getting to at the bottom of the page, actually. We can go back to the computer, Randall, where it says jazz performance form. Basically, Happy Birthday is our head. That's what you have memorized and keep in your head, right? That's the melody. And then, as I go into the improvisation, that's the solos. Almost all jazz performances and all the live performances you would hear around the Twin Falls area, and most of them that you see on the videos, you're going to get this head solos head, this bookend kind of thing, where the theme is played for you at first, and then a series of solos by any number of instruments. So usually all hell can break loose in this middle section, you know, all sorts of stuff. And then back to the melody again at the end, the statement of that. So if I do a performance of Happy Birthday doing that, I start with the head. There's a solo. So that would be a very short performance of where I played the melody. I played about 3 times through that. We call it a chorus. It's very short, but the song form. I played through the song form a couple times. And again, if you ask me to play, could you play what you just played exactly? No way. There's no way I could play what I just played for you. You know, I know it's in the key of C, and I kind of know the chord progression, know what the melody is, but what I played for you was just how I felt that particular couple minutes. Those minutes are gone now. And so if I play it for you again, and I will play it 4 more times for my other 4 sections, and it will be different. It'll be different each time, quite a bit different. The types of rhythms I choose to use, where I want to bend, shift the notes, growl, stuff like that, you know, what I want to do rhythmically, playing different times and stuff like that. It's going to be different every time. But I did head, solos, head, basically a little performance. Most of the forms we'll talk about will be 12-bar forms like the blues, 16-bar forms, some forms of blues like church blues, are usually 16-bar, shorter form tunes, and 32-bar, which most Broadway show tunes, what they call the Great American Songbook, AABA form tunes. Those are usually 32 bars. But I'm going to talk about all these forms much later in the semester and in much more detail